Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our webinar today. My name is Patrick Phillips, the founder of American Business Systems, and for some reason, I think my video went off there, so I'm going to turn that back on. You should be seeing a live video of me up at the top of your screen there, as well as a picture. We put the picture on there, not to be redundant, but for recording purposes, that's on there so people can see my name and title there as well. I'm a published author. Just so you know who I am before we get started, those of you who've not been on the webinars before can go to our website there and find out more about us as a company. You can also go to Barnes & Nobles or any major bookstore or Amazon.com and find these two books that I published, and to find out that I'm a real person, a real author, and that this is a real business, because if you order the one that you see on the right there, the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow, you'll find out that I go into detail as to why this business is very profitable for you and it can save and make the doctor a lot more money by increasing his revenue. So that's what our business is all about, in case you are not real familiar with it. I'm also on the editorial staff of BC Advantage magazine. That's Billing and Coding, the BC. And you'll see that I have articles in there just about in every issue of that one as well. So you can actually go find that online at billing-coding.com. And also, we're going to talk to you today about American Business Systems and what we do and how long we've been doing this. We've been out there actually training people since 1987, when my wife, Linda, that you see in this picture here, that was just taken a couple of weeks ago, she started doing medical billing out of our home here in the Fort Worth area. And it grew to such a large industry and large business for us that we had other people asking us how they could get involved in the business. So we started training people just like yourself, from every background, every age group, everybody that's done everything in the background wise out there, how to start their own medical billing or medical revenue cycle management business. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is how you can start this business working from your home, as most of our licensees do. That's what we call them. Instead of a franchise, we're a licensing situation. So we call them licensees, and we have people all over the country that are running this business. It's a cloud-based system, which means all you need is a computer or an iPad or even a smartphone, and you can run your business from anywhere in the world that has an internet connection. This is a proprietary system, as you can see, called iClaim, and the electronic medical records part of it is the one you see there at the bottom right in the iPad, EMRX. So we'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go through the webinar today. If you haven't been to our website, the website address is at the bottom of every one of these slides down there, and you can go and find out more about our opportunity there. We won't take time to go into detail today. This is specifically about the training that we do and how we get you up and running in 5 days to run this kind of business. You can also hit one of the orange buttons that you see on our website there and get to what we call our virtual brochure. Here's a picture of it coming up, and this is a tremendous in-depth look at our business. Everything from the opportunity itself to how we help you get clients, our training, our support, the technology behind what we do, everything's there. Be sure and click one of those orange buttons and go find out more about it. If you're doing your due diligence on us as a company, you can also check us out at the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau. Just type that in, Fort Worth Better Business Bureau, or Fort Worth BBB, American Business Systems. And you'll locate our listing there, and you'll see that we have an A+. Now, let me point out one thing for those of you not familiar with the Better Business Bureau. If you pay them a fee and join the Better Business Bureau, you can actually get accredited, they call it. That's all that means. We are not accredited. That's because we've just never needed to pay a fee to join the Better Business Bureau, and yet we still have the A+ rating there, as you can see. So it's a good way to check a business out. And we just got awarded from franchisehelp.com as one of the top business opportunities of 2014. We have a plaque here in our office that shows that. So again, if you'd like to check us out, you can come see that plaque by visiting us here in Fort Worth. It's actually a little suburb of Fort Worth called Keller, Texas. And we welcome you to come at any time. If you'll let us know ahead of time, we'll be glad to pick you up at the airport and take you back. And we'll also spend whatever time you need that day to investigate us. So let's jump into our topic for today. The webinar is on starting a new high-profit residual income business in 5 days. Now, if you haven't been to our website and found out why we call it a high-profit business, go to the website, and let me just move back to a slide or two here just to show you this. You can actually go to our website. Up at the top, you'll see a listing there, a little tab called Income Potential. Just click on that. There's a calculator there that will let you actually see and put in some numbers for yourself, the type of profit that we're talking about here, folks. We are talking about an executive six-figure income that a lot of our licensees are making from this business, just working out of their home. So be sure and check that out if you're not sure why we call it a high profit business. It's residual income because once you've signed up a doctor to do their medical billing and revenue cycle management, you'll be making that same amount of money every month, assuming that that doctor continues to see patients every month. And I think I hear somebody in the background, so I'm not sure if that's our guest for today, or maybe it's just somebody that got on the speaker accidentally. All right. Well, let me just start by showing you an article that we just ran across yesterday. So as you can see, I've put it right up here on the screen, November the 25th, as you can see right up here in this corner. Let me see if I got my little pen working today. Yeah, there it is right there. I'm circling it on the screen so you can see that. And this is from this Healthcare Finance News. And it was a great article on providers. Now, providers is a term that in the healthcare industry, that's referring to doctors, physicians, or anybody who provides medical help and care for patients. And as you can see, it says the survey says that providers turn to RCM. Now let me define that: revenue cycle managers. That's what we train you to be, a revenue cycle in the doctor's office, a manager of that. Outsourcing is cited as a value-based transaction. Now let me show you exactly what that means by just quoting from the article itself here. Let me get back to the next slide here. I'm working on it. Here we go. All right, it should be coming up there. Here's what it says, quote, without end-to-end revenue cycle management, average processing costs for claims reimbursements run from $30 to $90 per transaction. Now, that's from a website called blackbook.com. And it says that that's over $252 billion that doctors spend in 2014 on managing that type of thing. Outsourced RCM knocks down the cost, this fellow said that we're quoting here in the article. And the healthcare industry also has the opportunity to leverage the economies of scale offered by RCM outsourcers. Now, folks, when the doctor outsources their billing to you as a revenue cycle manager, you have economies of scale, right? Because you're not doing this for just that one doctor or one practice, but for several doctors or several practices. And so that's why it's important that you realize that that is a very good reason for doctors to outsource their billing. Here's the continuation of that. It says RCM outsourcers also have the staff and the technology expertise to integrate patient billing, collections, accounts receivables, and grievances as ICD-10 and the value-based payment models present even more potential for internal inefficiencies. Without capital investment for state-of-the-art technology and staff. In other words, the doctor doesn't have to invest any capital. By outsourcing his billing, he's turning that over, you see, to somebody who can handle everything for them and have state-of-the-art technology and staff. And you will have, as an ABS licensee, the most state-of-the-art technology that's out there, as you'll see as we get into this. So let's talk about the two paths that you could be thinking about going down right now. As someone who's looking into medical billing as a career opportunity, there's two things you could do. You could focus on getting trained over the internet or maybe at a local school in billing and coding training. That's a very important part, a lot of people feel, of knowing about this industry. So I'm going to explain to you why you don't have to go through that path, and you can go to another path here. But first of all, let's examine that path carefully. Excuse me. All right. So if you went to get billing and coding training, you can see the reference down here at the very bottom of the screen here where we got this. But it's a long link there. But anyway, you can look back at this recording of this webinar if you want to and get that link. And you'll find this chart on billing and coding specialists. it says basically that if you went to work for a doctor in their own office, you would make approximately $38,700. Let me circle that here with my pen. You see it right there. And if you went to school to get trained in this, you could get your diploma in approximately 6 months. Oh, I got to switch back here to my cursor. There we go. 6 months diploma time, and it would cost you about $15,300. That's right in this chart right here. Now, that's just going to a school of some kind and doing that. I got to get back to my cursor here some way. There we go. Now, if you went to a 2-year associate degree, that could cost you $24,200. You'll see that right over here. And let's see, we also have, let me see, I got to get back to the cursor here. Sorry, I have to go back and forth here to move the slide forward. And the average salary, again, is only $38,700. Now, folks, when you go to our calculator, you'll see that you can make almost that much money with just one doctor. Not just one practice, because the practice might have 2 doctors, and then you could make that almost twice that. So this is why it's a good reason not to go down this path, because you can spend a lot of time, up to 2 years, as you can see, and you can spend a lot of money trying to get to the point where you could actually make that $38,000 a year. So what path should you take? Well, I'll show you here. The path that you should be taking is this one, and this one is pretty straightforward. We train you as a medical revenue manager. Let's see. I'm trying to clear the screen there. I'm not sure why that's not working. Let me see here. Okay. There we go. I don't know why. Maybe I should not try to use that, huh? Let me erase that screen. There we go. Okay. So as a medical revenue manager, you're going to be covering all the different services and offering all the different services that we offer to you as an ABS licensee. Now, to help explain that to us all today, I think our guest is ready here on the line. Let's see if she can show up here on maybe video and audio. This is our lead trainer, Cynthia Anderson. Cynthia, you with us?
I am. Hello. I am so sorry. I don't have video on right now. I am getting ready for the wonderful holiday, so I am out of the office.
Well, all right. That's fine. Cynthia, thanks for joining us. You're a little bit low on the volume, so that may be just something that we can't help there. You're on the phone, right?
Excellent. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, that sounds better. Thank you.
Cool.
Well, thanks for joining us. Since we're talking about what we're going to be learning, I thought since you're the one that actually teaches them during that class that you could kind of be in on the discussion here with me today. So let me see if I can... let me see if I can put something on the screen here that would help people in knowing a little bit more about you, because I'm very proud of the fact that Cynthia is an ABS licensee, and she's also licensed as our lead instructor. Cynthia has been through our training, so she, as you see, has the initials there after her name. And Cynthia, we're just thrilled that you were able to join us today. Thank you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. And you're right, being a certified revenue medical manager, it's interesting. After going through training and getting those credentials and learning about how the whole practice operates and where the needs are, it's amazing that not more people are in this industry. Really, it's amazing to me.
It is. I've always said it's one of those hidden industries, really, that, when my wife and I were doing it here out of our home here in Fort Worth, people would ask us what we were doing because we never left the house. And yet we were, obviously making some good money buying new cars and so forth. And so I call it that one of those little hidden businesses that people don't know about unless they happen to know somebody, who's doing it.
Right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. So I mean, to touch on, a little bit of what does get taught during training, that's a big factor, is the idea of how practices are operating now and where they need help and where they need us, basically. And not realizing that there's not many advocates out there for doctors to help doctors, and we have so many solutions for them. It's just mind-boggling why they wouldn't. And you know, during training, when that was taught to me originally, that's why I'm so excited being part of it now as the trainer, and being able to teach people exactly what I was taught, and do with it what I, you know, have done with it since 2008. I mean, can you believe it's been that long already?
Yeah, that's is that 6 years ago? Yeah,
Six.
going on
Yeah.
7.
Isn't that crazy? Yep, crazy.
And Cynthia, when you found us on the internet, like most people do back then in 2008, you really didn't have any background, did you?
Well, no, and that's what's funny is I had zero medical billing background in this industry. I knew nothing about this industry at all. And that was one of my main concerns is, you know, how can I start a business or run a business or own a business that I know nothing about? So that was my biggest apprehension coming into training, saying, I don't know if I'm going to be able to position myself as the expert because I don't know anything. And that was one of the things that ABS quickly reassured me of, is having that support, to back me up.
Cynthia, I'm not sure why I'm hearing some other audio there. It may be that one of my staff members are monitoring this and unmuted themselves or something there. I just wanted to kind of see if that's going to continue. I think it's
okay. Did you hear me okay? Were you able to hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we heard you. It's just that there was a little background talking going on there. So I think it's stopped now.
Okay, wonderful. But yeah, so not having any industry experience hasn't hindered me whatsoever at all. Again, that was my biggest concern, and realizing that you know, you're part of this network of experts. You're part of this. You immediately have connections and resources to everyone that's been in this industry. So it's amazing that you know, you get that access, but you typically get in a franchise, but you don't have all the fees and all of the bad things that come with a franchise, but you still have the benefits of being able to have access to the support, have access to all of these people who have been in the industry for years, and be able to support us from the very beginning, and still do. It's kind of funny. I called our support contact last week to find out, to get some ideas on how to price something, to say, hey, what do you think about this? Think about that. I still call support, and it's been 6 years.
Well, hey, that's the best thing about lifetime support. It means as long as you are with us as an ABS licensee, you've got the support from us, of course. Hey, we got a question coming in here, Cynthia. One's from Kier. They ask, Cynthia, what kind of work did you do before you came to ABS?
So I was actually in the real estate business, so to speak. It was in property management, actually. So I was in property management, running an apartment community. So literally no experience with the medical field at all.
Yeah, and maybe we didn't make this clear, folks. Cynthia is actually still running her ABS business. She does medical billing, has several clients now, and is out in the Arizona area. And yeah, so she just takes off every 6 weeks or so when we do the training, and we fly her in here to actually do that class during the week. And Cynthia, I'm assuming that you run your business, you know, from your hotel room at night with your laptop.
Well, and that's the great thing about this business, right? Is the fact that it's mobile, and all of the resources that you, Patrick, have provided us, we can make this mobile. Every single service that we offer is web-based. So as long as I can find an internet connection, that's all I need. Literally, that's all I need. One of the services that you have provided to us gives us access to every single document that we have at our desk. So I can take my desk anywhere. So which is why when I want to take off on, you know, the day before Thanksgiving, I can come home and work here because all I need is internet access. If I want to go to Texas for a week and work from there, I can do that because I have internet access. So that's literally the one of the biggest benefits of this becoming a licensee is the fact that you go anywhere and you can work there, and that's it. I can go to Vegas and work from there if I wanted to. I can go to Hawaii. I can go anywhere and still run my business because all I need is an internet connection. That's it. That is it.
It's cool, isn't it? And of course, you've
Yeah.
got people working for you too at this point, don't you?
Right. And now I do, exactly. But even before I did, that was the benefit because my parents lived about 2 hours away from me, and I'd go visit them, and I would take my laptop, and I could stay there as long as I needed to. So before I had anybody working for me, I was able to do it anywhere I needed to or wanted to. So that's the convenience. But yeah, you're right. Now I got to the point where I do have people that I hire, which ABS helps me find people to figure out what to pay them, all of that other good stuff. And again, it's another kudos to you, Patrick, for putting all of those resources for us, just, at our fingertips, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
What I have on the screen here is the actual index there in the front of our manual, which is maybe 200 pages. It's a huge, thick manual, and it shows, all the topics that we're covering there during that week. So I thought I would just touch on a few of those, and maybe you can just make a few comments if you have. I don't know how long you got, but you could, whenever you need to jump off, just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first thing we cover basically is what we call intro to medical billing. I'm just showing some of the slides that we actually covered during that training session, and it's pretty in-depth. I'd say you spend an hour or so on that session alone there just to go into detail about those things people just need to know about this business.
Well, exactly, and it gives you a good, and it did for me when I went through training, a great overview, bird's eye view of what the industry, the evolution of the industry, where we're at now, where we're feeling the need, what is happening right now in the industry, because now this is our industry. We need to keep on top of what's happening. So it gives a great introduction to this is the industry we're in, this is why you're in this industry, and why this is going to continue to be an industry to be profitable in. So it's a great intro into the need of us and what we do, everything that we do.
Yeah, I've had people say, I hope this is not just a big hype sales pitch trying to resell us on this or whatever, but really by the time people come to this training, we feel like they have decided that this is the right industry, and we just get into the nuts and bolts of it as fast as we can.
You're not kidding. Every single minute is jam-packed that whole week, and it's so funny because I just was describing the training as awesomely overwhelming, and I felt that was a great way of describing it because there's just so much, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
There's just so much that you're going to learn about, again, the industry, about it just takes you from the very beginning to everything, the need for us, what our services are, how to market them, and most importantly, how we get that first client. That's, to me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I've got the claim life cycle chart up here that you came up with, Cynthia. That's very good as to for the claim cycle. But one of the questions that have come up here from Kathy, she's saying, please explain how the revenue is generated, the process from start all the way to residual revenue. So maybe we ought to just touch on that just briefly, because I make a lot of assumptions in these webinars, and since we do them every week, of course, I've covered that in previous webinars. But for people that are on here right now that really don't understand that, maybe we could just kind of tell them briefly how your revenue as an ABS licensee is actually generated.
That's great. Yeah, it's a great thing to cover. And it's kind of interesting. I love that term that she used is, where's that residual income? And that right there, that word right there is literally one of the reasons why I decided to become a licensee, is the fact that once I get a client, I'm going to get residual revenue every single month, as long as I keep that client, which is relatively easy to do, as opposed to a lot of these other industries where you get one sale, you sell a car, and you've got to go out and find another client. Or you sell a house, now you got to find another client. You've got to keep on working at it. With this industry, you get a client, and when we're talking about client, we have several different services that we offer, and that help solve all the problems that are happening for doctors. So right now, they have a big problem. they only have two sources of income. Doctors only get paid from patients and insurance companies. The problem that they have is both of those entities are slow to pay if they pay at all. So we have several solutions that streamline that process, make them more profitable. And what we do, how we earn our money, is we get a percentage of their total collections on a monthly basis. So what happens is they bill out, small practice collect $100,000 on a monthly basis. And that's what the doctors are getting from patients and insurance companies. What we do, based on what we, services that we offer them for the billing, the EMRX, a lot of these other services, we could charge 7-8% of that $100,000 on a monthly basis.
Cynthia? Oh, I think we lost her there. I'm not sure what happened to her audio there. Cynthia, you may have accidentally muted yourself maybe on your phone. I do that sometimes. On an iPhone, the mute button is right by your ear, and I touch it sometimes and mute myself. Well, until she comes back, I'll just continue on with some of the questions that are coming up here. Kathy, let me summarize it like this. We'll show you how to get that information from the doctor. You do it online. There's no paper involved. It's through our system, basically. You submit the claims. The insurance companies get the claims. They pay the claims directly to the doctor. The money sometimes goes directly into their bank account. And then you, at the end of the month, run a report from our system, or the doctor can see right in our system itself exactly what is there. And you bill the doctor for a percentage of all the money that actually got collected. So let's say you collect.
I'm back now.
Oh, there she is.
I'm so sorry about that.
That's okay. Anyway, I was summarizing it there. I was just about at the point where I said, depending on what was collected for the doctor, you charge a percentage of that, and then you bill the doctor directly for that amount of money, and that money is yours, and that happens month after month after month. That's the residual part of this.
Exactly, and it's money that he's already earned. So he's more than happy to pay for that for you, knowing that you are. So for example, because we know, and you'll learn this in training, we'll know all the issues of why doctors aren't getting paid as much as they should. We're able to increase their revenue, which increases our revenue. And it's a win-win situation where we come in, and if they only are collecting $100,000 monthly, they'd be potentially collecting $125,000 or $150,000 monthly. So we're increasing their revenue, and we're getting a percentage of the total revenue that we collect for them. But that's another big, and I'm jumping around with the topics that are covered during training, but that's one of the big things that we talk about is how to price our services and how we show them in black and white how much we can increase their revenue. And that's the thing is that doctors want to know, bottom line, what can you do for me that's different than what I'm doing in-house? Or what can you do differently than what my current biller is doing? You're going to show them in black and white how you're going to increase their revenue and potentially how much you can increase it by. So you're not selling anything. You're basically solving their problem, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Mohammed says, is the franchise fee one-time only, and is it good for how long? Well, it is a one-time fee, Mohammed, and it's good for, again, as long as you are an ABS licensee, meaning you're sending claims through our system. We're making a few pennies on those claims as you send them through. You're making money. We're both in partnership, and so we're going to support you as long as you are an ABS licensee. Yeah. Kathy has one though here directly for you. I think Cynthia, you'd be best to answer this one. She says, "What's the average time to recoup your initial investment?" She's talking about our one-time license fee, and is there a fee for the lifetime support?
Great question. So that last question is no, there's not a fee for lifetime support, like Patrick just said. But it's great that you say that you just asked that, Kathy, about recouping that, because when in training, we also are going to talk about average size practices, what your target market's going to be, and how there's different specialties that bring in different revenue. And so with the program that ABS has put into place now, it's not uncommon for licensees to take 3 months in getting their first client. And 3 months after that, maybe getting their second client. And when you look at the average revenue that clients bring in, then literally, I did quick math literally yesterday. I kind of did some numbers. And if you get your first client in 3 months, and then another, so 6 months, you get 2 clients charging what ABS recommends to charge for the target market that we do, that's going to generate a net, and this is net, this is not even gross, net, it's going to be a net revenue of about $36,000 in 6 months. So that will more than pay for your initial investment. Again, that's just us making the assumption that you get 1 in the 3 months, and so basically 2 in 6 months, which is absolutely doable. It is very attainable. It is not a stretch, and you can make that go quicker too by even hiring a sales rep. ABS has put together a whole program on how to hire a sales rep to go out there and make that faster.
Right. Well, in fact, that's a lot of questions that are coming in. You know, how do I have to find the client base myself, or is it already there provided for you? One Mohammed S. And the answer is, as we get into the webinar here, you'll find out that we're going to teach you how to go out. You know, remember, you can teach somebody to fish, or you can just give them a fish. And we don't have clients that we're ready to hand to you, but we'll show you how to find those clients in your community and how to market to them in such a way that they want to do business with you. So that's
Right.
we're kind of touching on, again, some other things. Cynthia, the next thing I'm going into here really is the business operations, and I've just kind of listed from our slideshow there some of the things that you're going to be covering during that. I'm going to read them off here, and you're welcome to jump in here and comment on any of these. But basically, we teach people about business entities, sole proprietors, partnerships, corporations, LLCs, that type of thing. How to name your new business for maximum profit. What address to use for your business, how to design a business card and logo, setting up your new website, office tools that you'll need, how to choose a contact manager for managing all your prospects, and setting up a virtual office.
Right.
Taxes, we go into taxes and insurance, and even have a visit from a real live attorney that shows up there at the training.
Right. Right. And the wonderful thing about that, Patrick, is when I first went through training, I had never owned a business before, never. I didn't know these basic things of what to put on your business card, how to create your website, I didn't know these basic things. So for some of the people that are out there, if you've owned your own business and you've been through this before, but I appreciated the fact that it literally started from square one. How to select your business name. What are the to-dos? What are the not to-dos? Give me some advice. Give me some direction to go towards. I don't know to create an LLC. Do I keep a sole proprietor? What are the implications of that? What happens with my taxes now that I'm a business owner? I mean, all of these questions that I had that I didn't know I had until you gave me the answer. So I wouldn't have known that. So you guys literally have thought of everything in this training.
Yeah, I mean, we try to take it from scratch as if you'd never owned your business. But for people who've owned their business, they could skip out. That's one of the last sessions I think that we do on one of the days, and so you don't have to sit through that if you don't want to. But everybody who's ever sat through it, even if they've owned a business, has said, I learned a lot of things here that I needed to know for this business because you made it specific to the medical billing business.
Right. And something else in addition to all of those topics that you spoke of already is we do help create what is the business model going to look like? What are my operations going to look like? What tasks am I going to be doing on a day-to-day basis? Because that's what a lot of people want to know. How much time is it going to take me for intro claims? How much client relations am I going to need? How much time am I going to spend marketing? I personally started this business working another job. So I need to just figure that out beforehand. How much time am I going to need marketing? When am I going to go out there and do this marketing? When am I going to service these clients? When am I going to do the work? So that, in addition to all of those things that you mentioned, talking about how you're going to operate the business is very imperative to be successful.
Yeah, and of course, one of the things people love about this is that, I mean, on day one, we bring in laptops and have them doing hands-on the actual medical billing, don't we?
Right, because that's one of the fears that I think a lot of people have is okay, you can tell me how great the system is, but I need to know for myself it's great, And I personally need to know for myself that it's as easy as you claim it is before I go up there and start telling everybody how easy it is to use, and how integrated it is to everything. And so you're absolutely right. I wouldn't want to quote unquote sell. We're not there selling anything, but I don't want to sell anything before I saw it myself. So that's a wonderful exercise to have people do, is jump right in to say, let's take a look at it. Let's see what you're going to be seeing on a daily basis and why doctors would like this compared to everything else. What is our competitive advantage? You need to know that in running a business.
I mean,
what makes me different?
Yeah, it's funny because some people's fear is about the marketing side and am I going to be able to get a client? And then some people's fear is the technology side. But really, everybody who puts their hands on the computer and actually fills in information, you give them patient information to put in, insurance information, and claims information. By the time they've done that a few times in this session, they're all going, oh, well, this is not near as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Right, exactly. It takes that fear away, and it helps them realize that this is easy. This is as easy as we said it was, and this is very simple and user-friendly, and oh my gosh, everyone's going to want to use this because of all of these features that it has.
Yeah, so what I have on the screen now, Cynthia, is a copy of the CMS 1500 form, and I tell people, look, here's how simple this business is. If you can fill out this one-page form, you can file a claim for a doctor. In fact, you can file, 6 different items there on that one piece of paper. Now, you're not doing it on paper. Remember, you're doing it in the computer, of course, but that's how simple the data is. There's nothing to it. My wife learned how to do it literally within about 3 days working in a guy's office.
Right.
And of course, a lot of folks, let's not mislead you. We're trying to make this as realistic as possible. You can't learn everything there is to know, of course, about our system, our medical billing in those 5 days. But we have lots of training on our licensee website that is a private website that you'll have access to. Videos, we probably have 100 hours of videos on there, don't we, Cynthia?
I would say more. I would say more than that. You guys have hundreds of hours on there, and that's why when I was saying that the training is awesomely overwhelming. It gives a great foundation, a great introduction, and then on the back end with the support on the back end to say, here's the supplements to do intermediate and then advanced and then this. So yeah, I think you have done a great job of putting all of those tools and resources for us to watch anytime that we want, in addition to what we've also learned in training.
Yeah, and of course we have little breakout sessions. There's a lot of interaction between the students. We don't ask you or put you on the spot in any way, but you'll have a chance to actually work with other licensees in developing pricing models, and it's a very interactive class, folks. And of course, in addition to Cynthia, I do some training as well. We have other people that come in and do the training. Those of you who've seen some of these webinars with Eric Auger know that he's a wonderful trainer, and he's there to train some sessions as well. So it's overall, the hands-on part of this is, I think, Cynthia, the most valuable part of our entire package.
I absolutely, hands down, I would agree with that. Because to touch on what you were just talking about, the hands-on and some practical applications, this is a wonderful environment for you to learn what to go out there and do it. Because once you start learning these products and services, to actually get a chance to practice it yourself and talk about what it is that you do and talk about what your company does in a safe environment before you get out there and having to do it yourself, it's a wonderful way to ease you into learning all of this. And you're right, we're not going to you guys don't put anybody on the spot, but it is very interactive and very helpful to do these exercises for great success.
Throughout this webinar, folks, I'm going to throw up a poll from time to time just to see from the audience that's here. And we have a bunch of folks on this one today, Cynthia. I guess because they don't have anything else to do. They've taken off for Thanksgiving tomorrow. This poll that's up there right now is just a real simple one. Have you ever been in business for yourself? Just click yes or no there, and I'll submit the answer to that here in just a second as we continue talking. Cynthia, the next thing I want to do, though, is I'm going to actually play the testimonial video from our last training.
Oh, great idea.
That we just did the earlier part of this month. So if you haven't seen that yet, you'll be able to at least hear it there if you've got time to listen to it. Okay, so I'm gonna close that poll now and share the results with everybody. I asked if you had ever been in business for yourself, and as you can see, the answer is yes. About 57% have been, and 43% no. Now, actually, that's a little higher than what we actually see in the classes, isn't it, Cynthia?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that it's that high on this poll, but then again, it could just be a selection of people that are on here today. But the point of that question, folks, is this. Cynthia had not been in business for herself. You don't have to be in business for yourself. And most people have not ever been in business for themselves that come through our training. So it's okay. We can still handhold you through that process to get you to that point. Okay, and I'm going to play this, and I think it's going to be a little jerky here playing it through this GoToWebinar across the internet, but I think the sound will come through okay here. So let's see how this goes.
Hi, my name is Patricia Gonzalez. I'm a physician, and I attended this seminar with my husband. And I have to say I've been very, very impressed. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I'm excited to go back and pass on everything I've learned and all this valuable information and systems to my colleagues. So thank you so much.
I just finished my week of training in Texas, first licensee training. We've been licensed now to start our business with ABS. At first, in the beginning of the week, I was not that impressed, but now I'm overly impressed. We had Cynthia Anderson train us, a former licensee, gave a fabulous presentation and educational process, and we are more prepared than anything I've ever expected.
ABS training down here in Fort Worth, really impressed with the week, did a lot of research coming in, definitely exceeded my expectations. These guys got all the angles covered. Anything you need to do to develop a championship team, you can do it. You're sitting on the playbook.
We drove here 1,104 miles from South Carolina to attend and had a great week here. So I recommend everyone to come, enjoy yourself, take a vacation.
Hi, my name is Daniel Osani, and I am a new ABS licensee. My journey was very, very long, 2 years exactly, did a lot of research, but the support that I got from the ABS family is what got me here today. So I'm very, very appreciative of the opportunity, and I would recommend this to anybody. Thank you.
I've been to so many other training and even with the school, and all my life I went to different opportunities, business opportunities, but this was totally different. The trainers were all great, and Cynthia Anderson, I don't know, she's a phenomenal speaker. I didn't fall asleep during the classes. I was pumped up. Stay up all the time. I was taking notes, and the material that they are giving us is like going back to the class. The video, you can watch everything. All the students, you can call them, were excited. Everybody was together, and I would suggest that if you want to do a business, this is the right time to come over here and join ABS, because they will teach you from A to Z. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, I do think Patrick is great. I think Cynthia is wonderful. The training is fantastic. And I'm very excited. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. However, I'm going to have to hit him for at least another 20. But you will learn so much. You will be so excited. And they have thought of everything and put everything together for you. So don't be stressed about not knowing what to do after training.
Cynthia, you still there? I'm sure you recognize some of those voices, of course, but I don't know if you knew what that lady was talking about there at the end, but while she was giving her testimonial, she had kind of pulled me over into the camera there, so I stood beside her, and when she started saying such nice things about me, I pulled out some money out of my pocket and handed it to her.
That is great. That's great.
Anyway, you heard all the good comments about Cynthia, folks, and that was we didn't pay anybody to say those things. That's typically what we hear from people after they've sat through Cynthia's training. It's awesome. Okay.
And it is an awesome week. I mean, it is, when people walk in on Monday morning, it's interesting because there is a huge apprehension. Specifically, did I make the right decision? Did I make the right decision? And so when you see them on Friday, that's how they feel. That's how they all feel, like, wow, this exceeded my expectations, and I can't believe this is better than I thought it was going to be, because it is scary walking in there on Monday, not knowing, did I make the right decision? Is this the right thing for me? I don't know if I can do this or not. So that's why I think they're so high energy and just so excited, because they're realizing, yes, this is the right decision.
I think you're right. I think that's exactly, they come expecting maybe for it to be okay, but once they've gone about, what would you say, maybe midway through Wednesday, they're kind of bouncing off the walls because they didn't expect it was going to be as good as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Cynthia, I thank you so much for being on here today. I'm going to let you go because I've got a few more slides to get through here, and it's closing up the hour.
My pleasure. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving, all of you guys, and hope you have a wonderful, safe holiday weekend.
Okay, we'll see you a week from Monday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Cynthia. Bye-bye. Now, folks, I'm going to move kind of quickly through this, and I'm also going to address some of the questions that I see here on the screen. I am reading every one of them as they do come in. I'm taking them in the order in which they get here. So some of them have to do with how to get clients. Now, I'm going to summarize all those up here as I go through some of the other slides, because some of the things that we teach you to use to get in the door are here on the screen right now. These are our auxiliary services that have to do outside of iClaim and EMRX. They're the first two. These other services are services we came up with that you can offer to doctors that will get you in the door. Sometimes they're not ready to talk to you about the billing. Maybe they think their billing is under control. But you can get in with other services that address other needs, cash flow challenges that they're having with these other services as well. So we go through a whole series on every one of those. And then, of course, the thing about getting clients, of course, has to do with marketing. Folks, just like any business, the most important part of our business is, how do I get a client? Look, you can learn how to do medical billing. You can learn everything there is to know about coding and billing. And if you never got a client, then you're still not in business, right? So marketing is the key. And that's the reason why after 20 years, we've boiled it down to the things that actually work, that have been tested out there for 20 years in the field and are still being tested by licensees like Cynthia. And they tell us whether they're working or not working, and we add new things as we find new ways to market. There's all kinds of changes that go on in our marketing. But to summarize it, we go through everything you need to know about 10 different things that will teach you how to actually do the marketing to the clients that are there. Now, I'm going to go here in my computer over here and tell you about one thing, though, that's pretty awesome. I don't know of anybody, speaking of marketing, that does this kind of thing for their licensees. Look, see it down here in this left-hand corner, we, the ABS staff, our professional demonstrators actually will get online using technology like we're using here on this webinar to connect with the doctor. See in the bottom right-hand corner there, that's the doctor, him or herself. They're on their computer. You could be on your computer at your home, or maybe they're in the office with the doctor at the time. And we actually perform a live demo of our technology. Now, why do we do that? Because first of all, we know all the answers to any question that the doctor could ask. And secondly, we close, our licensees close about half of all the doctors who set through these demos. So they're very powerful. And there's something that no other company that I know of would even dare to do, because their technology is not as awesome as ours. Folks, the thing you'll hear on these demos as we perform these for your doctor, you'll hear the doctor say, wow, more times than you can count throughout the entire demo. It's just an awesome thing to hear how impressed they are with our online system. We also go through web marketing. We provide for you a templated website, of course, and it's all got all the information and the wording that you need. Contact information for you. We replace our name at the top there, of course, with your company name and your logo if that's what you wish. And we'll teach you how to do web marketing. We also go into social marketing and show you all the things that you should and shouldn't do out there in the social marketing as well. Things like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and those kinds of things. Then we go into email marketing. Yes, believe it or not, our licensees have done email marketing and gotten clients from that. We'll teach you how to do it the right way and not look like spam or junk mail that's going out. We've learned the things to do and not do in all of these areas. Direct mail marketing. We have a whole series of cards, postcards and greeting cards that have been designed specifically to market to doctors. And I just heard from my support guy yesterday, the director of our support team, Casey Thompson, who told me that one of the licensees, he said, Patrick, it was like it was right out of our playbook. They had missed getting a doctor because their office manager wouldn't actually let them get to the doctor. And so they used what we tell them to do to get past that by using this series of cards. Well, about 3 months later, they got a call from the doctor. The doctor had let his office manager go for some reason and called them up because he said, I went through her stuff and found on her desk all these cards that had been coming from you guys. And I need every one of these things in my office. So it really does work. And again, our licensees got a great response from our direct mail. We also teach you to do business networking. Now, don't let that scare you. It's just a bunch of people that stand around and share what they do with other business people who share what they do. But we'll also teach you a step-by-step presentation, as you can see here in this picture, of the slideshow that we've come up with, so you can explain what you do directly to other people. Remember, you're not trying to sell them necessarily, but you're trying to tell them what you do so they will know who your best prospects are and can refer people to you. That's provided to you electronically, or you can print it out for a flip chart of some sort if you want that as well. We'll also teach you how to do educational events. These are great fun things. Look, on the left there, you see some doctor and their staff just having lunch. You're sitting there maybe with a laptop computer, showing them what you do and telling them about your services. You provide the lunch for them, and that's why they'll sit there and listen to you for 15 or 20 minutes. Or we'll show you how to do actual seminars, like you see in the bottom right-hand corner. That's one of our licensees who's actually doing his first seminar. We provide the slides for you, what you should say. We have videos of people doing those webinars, so you can watch them over and over again until you get them down. And we'll show you how to find places that will let you do those seminars at no cost. In fact, some of them will even provide the food to get the doctors and the office managers to that. Now, if you like trade shows like this one, we'll show you how to actually use our displays to set those up. Those trade shows are going on in your town right now, probably several of them. And they don't have to be medically oriented, by the way, because doctors are just human beings. You know, they go to garden shows and auto shows and boat shows and all kinds of different trade shows. We'll show you how to set up a booth using our booth. We have both a full booth that you see on the left there and a tabletop that you can use for those. All right, I think I've been talking long enough here. Let me just put up another poll right quick here. This one is a real simple one. If you're not looking at your screen there, you'll see it on the screen now. Which of the following are important to you in finding a new business to start? You can check any of those that you want, or as many of them as you want, if some of them are more important than others. Just check a few of those, and let's throw that up there and see what people come. While you're doing that, I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I see on here about from other people. Let's see. Maria said, so the revenue fee of 8% that you bill to the provider is a different fee for every claim that you submitted. Yes, Maria, I don't know where you got the 8%. I may have had that somewhere or said it and forgot about it, but it can run anywhere from 5% to 8, 9% sometimes, 10%. I've had licensees charge 10%. But whatever that percentage is, yes, you'll know how much money from our system is collected in the doctor's office at the end of the month. You take that number, you put it into an invoicing program like freshbooks.com or QuickBooks and send out an invoice and get paid for that. That's right. Okay, let's see what the poll says here. I'm going to close it now, and you'll see that there's a lot of things here. I'm going to share the results of that here now to you. Here's the thing that looks like a lot of people like is how easy is it to get clients? That's the most important thing in that entire poll. So whether you checked one or more of those things, folks, the point is the things I'm going through right now is why our licensees can get clients when if you tried this maybe on your own or went with some other company or training, you may not be able to get a client because we've just figured it out after 20 years. Here's the trade show marketing. I showed that, and I also wanted to show this because this is an actual copy of one of our licensees who set that up in their office to actually do the trade show. There it is right there in the trade show before the trade show started. And I think I've got another one here of them standing in front of it there. Yep. As you can see, people just stand around talking at these things. But the nice thing is that people come to you. You don't go to them. They come to you there at the trade show. And we also teach you, I think Cynthia mentioned this earlier, how to work with sales reps. We teach you how to find those people in your area, people who will work on straight commission only. We teach you how to interview them, hire them, train them, and pay them. And like I said, most of them work on straight commission. You don't have to pay a thing until they bring you a signed contract. Yes, believe it or not, there are people who love selling for a living, and if you don't have the time or the inclination or the budget to do that yourself, you just find these people, and we'll show you how to either motivate them to go out there and make lots of money. They can make a residual income, you see, from their accounts, just like you will be making a residual income as well. Folks, we teach you basically what we call consultative marketing. Now, all that means is that you don't have to think of yourself as a salesperson. Look, this guy with the blue shirt on here, he's one of our licensees. He's just standing there talking to an office manager. We'll show you how to engage that person, get the information from that person to the doctor's desk, and consult them. You don't have anything to sell. What you have is a solution to a serious problem that doctors have, and that's revenue. And we're going to teach you how to do that through what we call a free practice analysis. It's actually 3 pages long now. There's lots of questions that we've given you to go through as you sit there with the office manager or the doctor and ask them about their practice. Once you've got that information, we'll also teach you how to price it and come up with a very professional looking proposal in a nice presentation folder like this. We have all the templates for that already worked out. All you're doing is just changing a few numbers in those to fit your particular situation. So folks, we've tried to cover everything in this 5 days that you could possibly need to get a business like this started. It is very possible to get your first client even before you come to training. Now, somebody's actually asked that question. Laureen says, is it possible to pre-sell to clients to shorten the lead time to get their first client? Laureen, that depends on your situation. Of course, we'd like to talk to you about that before you go out and do any kind of marketing. It could be that talking to your own doctor would be a good idea. Maybe not a good idea, depending on how much you feel like he might ask you that you don't have the answers to before you come to our training. So your ABS rep would be glad to talk to you about that as well. Let's see, Vernetta says, do we have to pay additional fees for software from third-party suppliers? No, the answer to Vernetta is no. Now, there are some fees for accessing our online system, but the doctor, the practice pays for those fees. You don't. Let me put another poll up here while we're answering some of these questions. Some of you could be answering another poll here. Here's one. All right, how important, it says, is a knowledge of medical coding to starting a billing business? See which one of those answers seems to apply the most to that question while I answer a few more questions here. Let's see. Okay, when's the next training, Vernetta? It's December 8th. That's a week from this Monday, but we have one about every 6 weeks. So ask your ABS rep about the one in January. I think it is towards the end of January when the next one's coming up. Greg says, what is the dropout or turnover rate of licensees? Greg, here's the interesting thing. Every single licensee that's come through our training, depending on what their definition of success is, has been able to reach their goals. Now, does that mean that some licensees are not still trying to get their first client? Of course. Some of them go out the first week and get a client. Sometimes it takes them 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I've had licensees take longer than that. So I'm being very upfront with you. It depends on your situation. But you can ask your ABS rep in depth about that, and you'll find out in your particular area what your competition is and what your chances are of getting your client as fast as possible there in that area. Let's see. John says, let's see. What is your best response to doctors and their staff who say, in 5 to 10 years, we will all be hospital employees. The days of the independent practice are winding down. Can you share the best replies to this? John, that's a great question. And yes, there are doctors out there who are going out there and let me close the poll here, then I'll share the results to that one too. There are doctors who are going out there and getting hired by hospitals. The hospitals are recruiting doctors. But one of the testimonials that you just heard from our last training was from Dr. John Daly. He will tell you that what he's hearing from his colleagues that are still in practice, he's retired now, is that those doctors who've gone to work for hospitals regret it greatly because now they're just employees. Their income is restricted. Their hours are dictated by the hospital, what they can and can't do. It's just again, a punch in, punch out type situation. And a lot of those doctors are now leaving those hospitals and going back into private practice because they have found that that is not what they wanted for them and their lifestyle. So yes, there are doctors who are going to work for hospitals, but believe me, there's a lot of them who are going back into private practice and who are resisting that. The way we help doctors salvage some practices is by teaching them enough and helping them with their cash revenue enough so they don't have to even think about going to work for a doctor. Wow, we're already at the top of the hour and I haven't got to everything here. Let me tell you about our money back guarantee and then we'll move right on here. Did I share the results of that? Yes, I did. Okay. Folks, we actually have a guarantee that says if you come to our training workshop and at any time during that week, I'm talking about first day, last day, it doesn't matter, for any reason you don't think this business is right for you, just tell any of my staff members and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your licensee fee. That's right. Every penny you've paid to us is given back to you for any reason. Now, I don't know of any company that has that kind of guarantee. To tell you the truth, people thought I was nuts when I first came up with it. But what we found was that only 3 people in 20 years have asked for that refund. And so we think we've got something that's pretty real and pretty solid for most people. But it's there to make you feel better and to give you the comfort level of making the decision and coming on down here to the training.